Hey, welcome to the channel. I am Musically Malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. We are in the final track of the debut album of Band-Maid from 2014. The album is called MAID in Japan. This track is called Forward. It has been a wonderful journey. Like always, we're going to hop over, listen to the song, feel the song, and then dive in and see what the song's about on the other end. This right off the bat is the first, like, from at least my memory, not maybe the first, the most emotional sounding intro. Again, we'll see on the other side. But even that, I think that's an interesting case study to see what all can be communicated through music, through the way the lyrics are said, or sung, excuse me. But it has this this kind of sounding of finality to it, which is the last song on the album. And so it would have a wrap up in nature, and it's hard to express. And maybe I wouldn't feel that way if I didn't know it was the final track, but there's something about it that gives this sense of like the end of a journey. This is also the first time I felt like I'm really being able to clearly hear Psyche's vocal range. I know she expresses it in the other songs, but I think with the music is kind of this backdrop and her vocals coming very forward in this, this is the first time I'm really getting to hear her flex that. And I do know from the Psyche documentary from Orange that is over on Patreon right now, I saw that, you know, she had a few years of doing this and learning and things, and then had to undergo surgery, and that her vocals have only gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm excited to see that journey. Yeah, I'm still just getting this hopeful vibe, this end of a journey type vibe, this pressing on. We'll see if I'm way off. I love the sound that they're using for the lead guitar on this, the tone that's being used, that very like electric dub, but it's like not a grungy, it's like a very like high, I don't know how to explain it. Help me if you're a guitarist and you would try to explain how you wanted the sound of the lead guitar there in the background. How you would explain that, what kind of tone that is. I also love that drum sound. Yes, this. That was great. It's always a strangely emotional thing, reaching the last track on an album. I know this is literally just the beginning. There's so much more to come, but there's a sense of achievement and it's a mixed bag, man. It's an achievement feeling. It's a excitement for what is to come, a melancholy. I wouldn't call it a sadness of what has been, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a little melodramatic. But I enjoy this. Okay, so let's go see if I was way off. Samsonite. I knew it started with an S. Name that reference. Okay, so here is our document. Forward is about resilience, the decision to keep moving even when life doesn't make sense. It acknowledges struggle, doubt, and failure, which has been a common occurrence throughout this album, but treats them as proof of being alive, not reasons to give up. Wow, it's a wonderful thought. The song blends optimism with realism. It doesn't promise an easy victory, only that every step matters. Listen, that's what I've said each time. The writers of these songs, they're very insightful. And some of these may seem duh, but there are so many. And sometimes, honestly, when we're at our worst, we forget these things. Struggle, doubt, failure. They're proof of being alive, not reasons to give up. Optimism with realism. Like the recognition that, getting through some things in life, it's not an easy victory, but taking a step matters. These are all very mature and necessary thoughts to build a life of meaning, a life that's, and by that, obviously that's defining that, for yourself, but what it truly means to live. It's about facing a world that often distracts or discourages you and choosing again and again to move forward. The message echoes through every section. Forward, forward. It's not shouted like an anthem, but spoken like a vow, an ending that feels more like a beginning. So here's our natural English translation. So this is the translation that takes into account the nuances of Japanese culture, reads more into what is being conveyed, not the literal, which I have the literal here, word for word, but sometimes misses the nuance. The answer has always been right beside me. I just want to keep feeling the wind, racing toward that future I've longed for, even if the night comes unexpectedly. I'll hold my head high and keep moving. I do love the way that it's saying this. I want to keep feeling the wind, and it's connected to this, racing toward, forward, because obviously it's this picture of if you're, whether it's in a vehicle, on a bike, on your feet, if you're moving forward, if you're racing forward, then you feel the wind. And so the only way you're going to feel that feeling of motion is by moving forward, looking ahead, not stopping. Forward, forward, run ahead. Forward, forward, run ahead. Something that just hit me while I was thinking about this that I just want to encourage you with is sometimes forward progress does not feel like forward progress. The way I like to think about it is sometimes in seasons of life, let's think about like the stock market. If you're looking at a trading chart or any kind of analytics that have a line graph type thing, but specifically when it comes to stocks, because the hope is that the trend over time is up, right? Like if you span out over 50 years, 100 years of a company, hopefully for the most part, even if it looks like this small incline, it's up, and it might kind of have a little variation. But if you start zooming in on that and you get into the monthly and yearly, the reality is it's like this. Woo. And a lot of times that's how life feels. And yet, with all those dips, all those challenging places, all the victories, when we back out over the span of life, what felt many times like standing still or moving backwards, sometimes those are the necessary steps to ultimately move you forward, right? So just be encouraged today that if you don't feel like you're moving forward, you feel like you're moving backwards. Listen, the reality is, and sometimes we do because we've made foolish decisions or, circumstances we cannot control. But forward doesn't always mean more money. It doesn't always mean smooth sailing. Sometimes you have to take a job that has a pay cut because there's greater opportunity in the next job. So anyways, I don't want to harbor on that too long. I just wanted to encourage somebody and for you to define what that is for you. And that ultimately don't be deceived that forward is always means it's always a smile. It's always happy. It's always smooth. I can't let go of the tears from my past. And even when I grow used to voices of doubt, I won't hand my flag of surrender to anyone. I'll throw away the bag filled with sighs. Ooh, I bet you there's a translation note for that. That's a really vivid thought. I'll throw away the bag filled with sighs. I'm actually kind of curious to see what this literal translation says. It says the same thing. Okay. We're born fragile, fleeing creatures. That's exactly why we choose to be strong. Like, right? She recognizes here's my nature is to be fragile, to flee, but I have to choose to be strong. Facing the light of tomorrow, our courage is being tested. Every step matters. None of it is wasted. Even when this painted world makes me lose sight of what's important, I won't close my eyes to hope. None of it is wasted. That's an important concept. Hard to believe at times, but it matters. And if I might share, I know that I've had some conversation in the comments, or some of you have heard me quote the Bible. The reality is on this channel, I want this to be a space that everybody from different backgrounds, whether it's socioeconomic backgrounds, music tastes, religions and beliefs, to be able to come to this place and learn from one another, or at least hear one another. My standpoint is I am a Christian. I encountered Jesus when I was a teenager, around 17 years old. I was broke, busted, and disgusted, man. I was failing in high school, got kicked out, got sent to night school, started skipping night school. I was really hurt. My parents had got a divorce when I was, 16, turning 17. I dove into alcohol, and not just like at parties. I got friends to buy me things of vodka, and I just get drunk in my room by myself, at 17 years old. And weed, and then from there it was like whatever pills I could get my hands on, and then meth and cocaine. And it was just, I was in that place that was like, whatever you put in my hands, I was going to try. That's a very dangerous place to live. And I was just a very broken and hurt person. And I encountered Jesus through another person, that person being the person I ended up marrying 3 years later. But Jesus, God's word has transformed my life, given me something to build my life upon. I've been married for 17 years and I have 3 wonderful children. Life has been very challenging, but beautiful. And so, I want you to be able to share your feelings and things. You don't have to believe what I believe, but I do think that many of the principles that we latch onto are also found in the scriptures. And so I speak from experience of walking through things, not everything, and you guys have walked through things I've never walked through. But I hope that as I am my true self and unashamed of what I believe, maybe there are some things we can learn from one another. So when I see a concept like this, every step matters, none of it is wasted. My belief is that if I have placed my life in God's hands, and that he has a plan for me, that the things of my past, the difficulties I walk through that I cannot explain, what I have to be able to say is, God, you're not bad. Life happens. Life is. But you are good, and you have been good to me. And so I trust you that you will take all of these things and you will work them out for my good. And this is the same principle we walk by, that let's say somebody is suffering from cancer, and whether they defeat it or not, as people, we can draw strength from the stories of people that have made it on the other side and have learned and grown, and we've watched them weep, and we've watched them be happy. We've watched them get reports that they were hoping would be better, and yet still moving on. We've seen them show love and kindness in the face of just suck, right? And then we've also, from the people that have not gotten better and have passed on, but still showed that resilience, that hope, that light. And so I say that, and we could extrapolate that on so many different concepts, so many different struggles and sorrows and pains, and the things that have happened to you and the things that have happened to me outside of my control that are not good. They are wrong, even at the hands of other people. Not good. They're wrong. They're bad. And yet, I say, but God, you are good. And I trust that none of that is wasted in your hands. And he gives wisdom to see how those experiences and how those stories can help others, how they have made me more resilient. So I don't want to harbor on that too long. But when I read that, none of it is wasted. For me, the only way I can trust that is that there's a force larger than myself working ultimately for my good, for his glory, for the good of others, for my own joy also in the end, that none of it is wasted. All right. Thank you for that. Even when this painted world makes me lose sight of what's important, I won't close my eyes to hope. Forward, forward, run ahead. Every time I stumble, I realize small flowers blooming at my feet. See? It's beautiful. Even if I can't live cunningly, I'll still understand others' pain. I wonder if this cunningly speaks to like insight, because cunning speaks to like a street smart, at least to me. But with this understanding others' pain, protect the self that feels it, this to me gives more of a living insightfully, empathetically. We'll see. We'll pass by it on the literal lyrics and see if there might be this kind of phrasing that stands out to me that might be down in the translation notes. Even if I end up broken, I want to return smiling. I'll throw everything I feel up into that sky. Even if I can't see where I'm heading, the road I draw today will connect me there. That is interesting because it's the idea of like, what can I control today? I cannot control tomorrow, and there are some things I cannot control, period. But what road will I draw today that ultimately I believe will connect me to that hope of tomorrow? Whatever adversity comes, I'll turn it into an ally. That's a really wise and beautiful thing. Goodness gracious. You have to make adversity your ally, or else you become its slave, and ultimately its victim. Even if the seat I'm offered takes something precious from me, I still believe in a heart that stands again. Facing the light of tomorrow, our courage is being tested. Okay, so it goes back into that. Now this line, cunningly, it's here. Even if I can't live cleverly, so cunningly, cleverly is similar. I'm curious if there's a translation note for it. So forward, forward, repetition has a mantra-like rhythm in Japanese rock. It often conveys persistence through repetition rather than escalation, okay? The flag of giving up. In Japanese, flag evokes a symbolic banner of trigger. She refuses to raise the flag of surrender, emphasizing agency. I think we all understand that concept. Even if the chair offered steals something precious. A poetic line about compromise likely symbolizes status, comfort, or complacency, warning against losing passion for ease. Philosophically, this track ties together the album's themes of individuality, perseverance, emotional healing, and now courage through imperfection. Musically, the driving rhythm mirrors a journey. Hey, I called that. It's less about arrival, more about motion. The optimism here feels earned. And then obviously we have all the credits here. Our boy Kentaro Akutsu. Man. Well, listen, thank you for being with me for this one. Let me know your thoughts on this song musically, lyrically. Let's have a conversation about it. And I hope to see you in the next one as we move on to the next album. We're eating good.